How you doing, everybody? I am Scott Jelinek, and this is the Ugly Truth About Real Estate Investing podcast. And today we have a very special episode. We have two guests on here today who just closed a deal for $51,121 as an assignment fee. And I brought them on because this was a unique deal that had no shortage of challenges. And so I wanted them to talk to you guys about it and tell you how they got the deal and how it all came about, and then the challenges they went through and the lessons learned along the way. So let's welcome Alex and Frank. How you guys doing today?
Hey, how's it going?
I know it's only been an hour since I seen you, since we had a couple margaritas, but you were telling me so much while we were drinking a margarita that I was like, man, we got to do a video on this because it was such great information. So first off, how you guys doing? Congratulations, $51,000 today. It's a big day. I'm sure you didn't want to spend it talking to me. You wanted to go party at home. However, I wanted to ask you some questions, if you didn't mind. First off, where did you get the deal from?
Yeah, so we sent out mailers. Alex and I partnered up a while ago, and we send out postcard mailers about a monthly basis. And we sent these out in November, and we got a call back probably about a week after they went out from the homeowner, and we were able to start working the deal there. It's kind of a unique story because we got a call back on Wednesday, and I spoke to the homeowner, passed it off to Alex. Alex went out and did the home visit on Thursday. And by Friday afternoon, in middle of November, we had a signed contract from the seller.
Middle of November. All right. And so we're in February now. So that was a good long time. So before I even get into that, you mentioned that you guys were partnered on the deal. Would you mind telling us how you're working your partnership, or what the relationship is, or how you're splitting up the duties, or what exactly you guys are doing together?
Yeah. Alex, you want to take that?
Sure. Why not? So basically, me and Frank, we partnered up a while ago. Scott, you've been a big component of accountability partner, and me and Frank have partnered together for a few mailers now. I pretty much do the appointment. I'm full-time, and Frank is a department head in the military still. So he doesn't have as much time as myself to drive around, do appointments and stuff like that. He's also great, though, on the phones. So he really handles the phone. He builds the rapport really well. I do the appointments, I assess, and it works out really well between the both of us. So,
all right. So you said you got it from direct mail. How much did you spend on the direct mail, if you don't mind me asking?
We do $400 a month, so $200 each.
So $200 each. So $400 was done in the month of November that got you this lead.
Correct.
Okay. So now I cut you off so you can go back to the story then. All right. So you got the contract in November.
Yeah, so we got the contract, and it's a pretty good place, good neighborhood. So we were able to find a buyer relatively quick. I think it was actually Saturday of the same week. We found somebody interested in purchasing the property, and what we thought was a home run that would be done in a week or two turned out to be a 4-month or 3-month, whatever it is now, sort of education, I guess is the best way to put it, because there was a lot of roadblocks, speed bumps, and brick walls that we ran into, and a lot of people telling us that there was nothing left to do or to just keep waiting. And we really don't have the patience to wait too long, and we have the perseverance to push through, I guess, is the other part of it. So I got some notes here to sort of go over, but we were hoping from when we had that deal in November, the closing was scheduled for December 6th. And everything was looking fantastic. And I think it was December 4th that the title search came back, and there was 2 liens still on the property. And that's where things started to take a turn for the different. So there was 2 liens. The first one was for the original loan. So, quite a bit of money. And the second one was a second mortgage taken out for a different amount of money, a much smaller amount. And the big initial problem that we couldn't get past was that those loans were in 2 different people's names. And so when they were doing the title search, they were looking for the current homeowner, not the deceased. I think it's deceased. I'm not entirely sure, but that person was no longer on the deal of what we were working. So, because the lien had gone into a trust. So we're searching for something that nobody knew what we were searching for. And I think that was the first hang up that we hit.
And that wasn't the last, because I know there's been issues. I mean, this is obviously going on for months. And so how did it get resolved? What ended up happening?
Yeah, so we kept working through it, and then do you want me to say bank names, or is that
Fine, that's fine.
yeah? All right, so I don't want to throw out any banks out there, but
Beep. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. So the final loan was actually owned by U.S. Bank, but the original loan was taken out 30 years ago or something like that, and so mortgages are sold all the time, and apparently this had been sold almost, I think it was 8 times that this had been bought and sold to different banks and through different mergers. And so running the title report, you got 8 different banks, and when somebody was supposed to submit the satisfaction for the lien, which was paid off almost 20 years ago, nobody had ever submitted the certificate of satisfaction. It had never been recorded, and it never made it down to the courthouse. And so the homeowner who had sold it, she had a copy from a bank a long time ago, but it wasn't U.S. Bank who was the final owner of the loan. So some way we had to figure out how we were going to, find the common ground there and mend all those pieces. And that's really what took us on the journey of education, because you can call U.S. Bank, and me being a third party who really has no
I want to talk to you.
game, but nobody wants to talk to me. Like, who are you, Frank? Like, you're not on any of the loans. You're not a lawyer. You're not a real estate agent. So, go to the back of the line. So we kept pressing and calling different numbers, and no one was really able to help us. I went as far as, I am the neighbor of the elderly woman who's trying to sell her house, and I'm just trying to help her out and figure out, because in all honesty, she had no idea what to do. The person who's trying to sell the house didn't really know what to do. And when we would talk to the title company was very, I don't say hands-offish, but they submitted paperwork. And when you submit paperwork to a purge department for a bank, you get an automatic generated email that says, we'll respond to you in 15 days.
So there was no lawyer involved. You just had a title company.
Yeah, so that was mistake number one.
Some areas, now depending on where you are in the country, some areas they only have title companies. We're in an area where you have a choice between a lawyer or a title company. I always opt for a lawyer. It's cost the same, and you have a lawyer working for you, but that's a lesson learned as you move forward.
Yeah, so at that point, realizing we didn't have an attorney, we started digging and doing some of the research and figuring out what the laws actually were. And the banks have it. It's a 30-day. I think it's a 30 days they have to actually submit that certificate of satisfaction once it's been paid off. And the problem was we were trying to figure out what bank did it get paid off to, and why did all these other banks in the meantime keep buying a loan that had already been paid off.
Right.
So trying to really nail down where the loan was took a lot of time. So one of the things we started doing is, I started questioning, well, who's responsible for managing the banks and making sure that they follow the law? So I went to the FDIC, and I started calling them, and they were actually pretty helpful. Like, give you a lot of information. There's actually a whole website that talks about what to do if you're in this position, if your loan was merged with somewhere else and you don't have a certificate of satisfaction. And so some of it is helpful, but part of it is not, because it has to be a specific bank from a specific time frame when they were working. And our bank didn't fall into that category. So from there, we got pushed over to the, what was it called? The Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, which is a whole nother company that we called. And they have a similar policy, except they let you submit a complaint about any bank. And so we did, and we had the homeowner actually do it. But I had to, I called her and walked her through the steps to submit all this stuff. And so it's the same turnaround time, though. It's another 15 days from there, right? So, I mean, we're pushing 30 days now from when we thought we were going to close, and we don't even know where the loan is at this point. So we're, now we're encroaching the holidays and Christmas and New Year's, and we're still trying to figure out where the loan is and how we're going to get this figured out.
So about a month ago, I remember, and it wasn't you, I think it was Alex, told me we finally found the bank, we got the release coming, and that's probably a month from today. I don't know exact dates, but it's been a good while. What happened since then that it wasn't able to close right away when you got that piece of paper?
Yeah, so getting that piece of paper took a long time. So U.S. Bank, the purge department, you can't just go online and find their phone number. So once you submit a complaint, you get the generated email back. And so I actually called that phone number and, sat on hold for a good hour until I was able to finally talk to somebody. So we got that all worked out, and we thought we were where we needed to be. So I spoke to the purge release department. I spoke to one of the workers there, and basically what they had done was they looked up the loan that was under one name, which would have been the smaller amount loan, because that was the one that we were asking for. They weren't looking at the original loan that was under somebody else's name. So they sent the release for the wrong loan. That was number one. So then we had to dig and figure out what they did wrong and ask them to release the loan for the second one. So they did that, which took about another week. But then there's a GPIN number, which I have no idea what that still means. And apparently 30 years ago, no one cared about a GPIN number.
Right, that's identifying the property, but right.
But now when Alex went over to the courthouse after, because they electronically filed, US Bank did, and that took 2 days, a 2-3 day turnaround time. Once they electronically filed, he went over there to see if it was recorded, and it was denied because there was no GPIN number on the document, which we had to figure out where that was, get that number. I had to call back US Bank, give them the correct information, and then they said they were going to file it again. Unfortunately, if you e-file once and it's denied, you cannot e-file a second time. You have to mail it, which I don't even think they knew, because the first associate I spoke to, our US Bank, she said, "Yeah, we're just going to e-file it today, and you should be good on Monday or Tuesday." So come Thursday or Friday the following week, I'm like, what's going on here? We e-filed and we still don't have the documentation. So that's when they informed us that, oh no, we had to mail it in, which would have been nice to know the previous week, because I would have just gave them an overnight slip to mail it. But their response is, well, we're a big organization and we have our own mailing process. And so just because I say I mail it out on Friday, that doesn't actually mean it goes to the mail. That just means it goes in my outbox on my desk on Friday. And so when it goes out, it goes out. And so that's really where we were for, I don't know, additional, it was the 10th, so almost 3 weeks. We were sitting and waiting for snail mail to get from Kentucky to Virginia Beach and to be filed.
And then once it was filed, Alex, you were telling me earlier that you had to go down to the courthouse every single day to see when it shows as recorded. So how long did that process take?
So when the first the GPIN issue came up first, so that was the first day I went, and I went every day since then. So that was 2+ weeks, I think. They knew me pretty well. They actually had my number today. When I got the call, they called me directly, letting me know that they got the paperwork in hand. They actually got used to my phone call. I was like, "Hey, Alex, no, we haven't received it yet." They already had it ready, knowing what I was going to ask for. But luckily, you're the one who taught me, squeaky wheel gets the grease. So, they knew who to call. So
nice. So today you picked up the recorded copy, proof that it was recorded, and you were able to just take that then to the title company, and you actually picked up your check today.
Correct. Yes.
Correct. Fantastic. So now that's officially it's officially closed and done. $51,121. That's fantastic. Congratulations. So there it is. There's the check. Very nice. Very nice.
Another day.
$1,121.
Yep.
So what's the biggest takeaway? What's your biggest lesson you learned from this deal? Obviously, this is a great deal. Is this your guys' biggest deal so far? I think it is.
By far.
Correct. Okay. Excellent. So what's your biggest takeaway?
Use an agent. Use a licensed realtor. Lawyer.
Lawyer.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, they all go together. A lawyer instead of a title company. Now, title companies mostly are no problem, except when there's an issue. That's when you're typically better off with a lawyer. But again, they cost the same, so I always do it with a lawyer. That's just me.
The one thing I noticed was, typically getting the contract and getting it sold, I would say, is the toughest part in this business. But that was actually the easiest part. I didn't realize the hell we were unleashing going through a title company.
Yeah, you got the contract like that, and you had it sold in 2 days for a big assignment fee.
It was this closing would have been done in 2 weeks if everything went according to plan. But the biggest issue that I came across is that they didn't really do anything. And me and Frank, we hustled to try and get it done. At the end of the day, our profit is in our hands. So I got to the point where neither of us were really trusting them to do anything. So, and there was multiple times where I was getting frustrated and Frank had to calm me down, and vice versa. So we made it work. The minute we got the paperwork. I beelined it right to the title company, turned it in, got the check, showed Frank at his house.
So a good thing to remember, and I tell people this all the time, as stupid as it may sound, if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. So yes, it was easy in a sense. You got it, but there's always going to be challenges. And the important thing is exactly what you did, overcoming the challenges, stick with it, do whatever you got to do. And then more importantly, learn, because now next time this is where they say experience, you don't need experience to get started, but experience does make you better in time, because the next time you have a similar situation, you're already going to know, I need to go to this site, I need to contact this person, and I need to go get this. You're going to know exactly what to do because you've been through it before. So each time you get a new experience, it just makes you that much stronger moving forward, which is fantastic. The unfortunate part is we have an event this next weekend, and we always do our trophy for the biggest check for our Freedom Partners for the quarter, and $51,000 most of the time would have taken it, and somebody knocked 55,000 this time. Of all the times, I know you're not in it for the trophy, and the check is obviously the real reward. But I was like, man, you normally would have gotten that with a check like that. You would have gotten it, but this time you're gonna pull a second.
Yeah, I think we'll survive.
You'll survive. There's no trophy for second place, but you'll survive. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go. So before I let you go, I'm going to two things I want to ask. First off, do you have anything that you want to share as far as anything that you learned, anything that was a great experience, anything you want to share with it? And then second off, if anybody's watching and has any questions, before I let them go ahead and type them in so that I can ask it to them and have them answer it. But go ahead. Anything you want to share, anything that you learned from it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, there was a lot of education here. I had no idea that there's a consumer finance protection bureau. I didn't know, a lot of the things. And we were talking earlier. You don't know what you don't know, right? So until you encounter a problem, you're really not going to know all the solutions. And so, for me, it was the perseverance of this. It was being willing to just get on the phone and make phone calls. And Alex and I, we were talking one day. I said, waiting to me is like the worst verb ever, right? Because it means you're actively doing nothing.
Yep.
And so, waiting, right, or just sitting around, or sending an email, right? Because nowadays you send an email to anybody, it just goes into another, 100 emails that person gets in a day. So really get on the phone, talk to people. I mean, because as much as we like to build rapport with the people that we're doing business with the homeowners that are buying or selling, right? I mean, you heard Alex just talk about the rapport that he built down at the courthouse, right? To be able to have that phone call come. I was on a first name basis with the people at US Bank, because I'm calling them every day trying to figure out where all this stuff is. And it's amazing how much people are willing to help you as long as you reach out and call and ask for the help that you're looking for. So like we said earlier, perseverance goes a long way.
Absolutely. Let me, before I let you go, let me see what comments you have here in case there's anything you have to answer. First one just says, wow, nothing to reply. Next one, just finished reading your book, Scott. Congrats, Alex and Frank. Oh, very nice. Hit that like button, folks. All right.
Persistence beats
certificate of satisfaction when certifying that the release of lien of borrower's property because payment satisfaction. I think that's just a definition. James Funk, wow. Chris Birch, was the deal from Just Mail a combined marketing like Bandit Signs? So you can answer that. I believe I know the answer, but you can go ahead and answer.
Yeah, this is just from Just Mail. So
just $400 worth of marketing, which is incredible because, we do mass mail for our Freedom Partners. We do a lot, about $15,000 a month. And on average, it cost us probably at $100 to $125 per lead, with an average of one out of every 15 to 20 leads turns into a buy. And you got it from just $400, which, I mean, I know it's a crapshoot. You can do $400 every month and not get one. And that turned out, fantastic to be on a $400 out of pocket for an absolutely fantastic check. This next one is just Chris Ackerman. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing, Chris and Ron? And there's one last one. Perseverance pays off. Absolutely. Absolutely. That made all the difference in the world. You guys could have quit at any time or just said, you're not messing with it. And, obviously that would have been a mistake, but perseverance pays off. All right, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. I just wanted to go over it because it's a fantastic payoff, fantastic deal, but definitely some great lessons to learn along the way. Thank you guys for coming on. Do you have any parting words before we let you go?
No.
Thanks
for margarita. Spoken like a champ, and margaritas it is. All right. Have a great day, guys.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a great day.